Hi, everyone. My name's Fatima, and I'm an analyst at Gartner who works with hundreds of clients a year on their platform engineering initiatives. Today, I'm excited to share insights and data related to platforms that are highly adopted by developers. Because when we adopt a new innovative technology, we expect that the users will come, but that isn't always the case. Things are only getting more complex for the software engineering industry due to the wide array of tools available, leading to a tangled web of interconnected systems that can be challenging to navigate. New platforms and tools come with steep learning curves, requiring significant time and effort to master. Instead of platforms adding to the confusion, we want them to serve as a safeguard against this chaos by standardizing tools and processes, which liberates developers from the need to become tool experts. We want to make the right thing to do the intuitive thing to do. This prevents compliance and audit teams from supporting an unrelenting demand of requests. Today, I'm excited to share insights related to platform engineering, which is a operating model change. This is a change to the way that work fundamentally gets done. Here at the top, you can see product and service teams. These are the agile teams aligned to capabilities your organizations deliver. And they're relying on approvals and generally are distant from infrastructure and other governance partners. But our recent benchmarking found that 90% of software engineering team members say that engaging with other roles and teams is critical in achieving their objectives. But given today's increased product complexities, interdependencies, and rising stakeholder pressure, this is becoming too difficult to manage. So, platform engineering teams interface between product and infrastructure teams and the underlying services they provide. The goal of platform engineering teams is to provide a consistent approach to cross cutting concerns while enabling teams to speed up their software development processes. Gartner's 2025 Software Engineering Leaders Survey shows that a top priority is improving software delivery processes, like improving delivery speed, improving software quality. These are the goals in which platform teams can work with developers because it's something that they are already responsible for. And when we look at platform teams' goals, there are things like reducing cognitive load or the amount of memory used to juggle multiple tools, frameworks, and languages. This in turn improves the developer experience or the consumer's day to day. Gartner's developer experience assessment research reveals that organizations with a high quality developer experience see significant improvements in engineering and talent outcomes compared to those that don't. These are things like speed to market, release frequency, and delivery predictability. That in turn increases productivity, which reduces attrition. Companies say these points often end up in their greater business case for piloting a platform engineering approach. Because it's a significant investment in technology, support, and experienced professionals, leaders need to make sure that these goals are rooted in obtaining maximum value for the organization. So, how are these teams achieving greater outcomes? We'll take a look at successful platform teams' approaches. Our platform engineering team survey looked at activities teams did and their overall impact on delivery outcomes, such as speed to launch, speed to completion, and value generation, compared to who didn't. And I broke all these activities down into two themes. The first theme is feedback loops. Companies whose platform teams directly engage platform consumers for feedback report 4.1 times better delivery outcomes. That is a huge impact. Imagine your best teams delivering 4.1 times better outcomes. That could significantly move the needle. Collecting and analyzing platform consumer feedback, that has an almost 2 times better impact on delivery outcomes. It's not as effective as engaging the consumers themselves, but both feedback loops are enhancing the platform's value. The next theme is related to monitoring and reporting. Monitoring platform consumer behaviors, monitoring and reporting the impact of platform outcomes. This has an impact on greater business and talent outcomes. The industry is changing so quickly, so monitoring the industry for trends and adjusting accordingly in areas like AI augmented software and observability, for example, can have a greater impact. With active monitoring and reporting, teams can understand consumer usage and value gains, which helps the prioritization of backlogs when developing features, decommissioning of features that are not delivering value, and continuously improving the platform. So you can show this data to your platform teams to help orient their practices and build confidence that focusing on these activities will drive the highest value. So, feedback loops and monitoring requires the platform's consumers in the process, which has several benefits. The benefits of bringing developers early into the process are things like fostering a feeling of self actualization and autonomy. When developers are involved from the beginning, they feel more connected to the work. They see their input shaping the solution, which leads to a greater sense of ownership and satisfaction. It's not about just making them feel good, it's about leveraging their expertise to create a better product and share accountability for the platform's success. Next, involving developers early helps create advocates for the platform's adoption. When developers have a hand in the solution, they're more likely to support and champion it. They become the platform's biggest advocates, promoting its use and benefits to their peers. So, how relieving would it be if we had ambassadors for the platform that are outside of the core platform team? Part of involving them early means working with them across the developer journey. This is an example of a DevOps workflow, which relies heavily on automation to facilitate faster deployment. Platform teams need this to ensure that they understand the journey, the sequence of events or activities that developers engage with the platform services, from the inception of requests to the delivery of value. We need to understand how long does it take between each state? What are the current tools that are being used and resources? Where's the biggest pain and therefore biggest areas of opportunity? This could be done through broad surveys, but direct contact like interviews and workshops helps establish rapport. Next, you can use that data to understand where are they frustrated or happy or indifferent. Make sure we understand why things aren't working today. Because technology might be the cause, but it's not always the source. A lot of times it's the process of multiple handoffs or excessive documentation. The goal is to simplify, make things easier to use, so you have a backlog of improvement areas. And also, you're using historic deployment data to improve teams' ability to respond faster to incidents. So, support their feedback with system data from existing tool chains and testing environments to inform your decisions and provide a basis for how teams are improving moving forward. And now that you have a better sense of how they feel, you can focus now on a specific pain point. For example, the verify or test stage is commonly a pain point. Many developers struggle with inadequate test coverage and managing complex test environments. They need effective feedback loops, which cause significant bottlenecks in the process. By understanding where they struggle the most, you're ensuring you're focusing on the right things that help improve the developer experience. Do you shift left some of the efforts and help developers incorporate testing into the build process? Create policy as code as ways to improve compliance? You can create dashboards for reporting code coverage and test health with actionable insights. So instead of just thinking about feature changes, these are kind of the targeted responses you want to provide. And organizations who adopt this approach see increased engagement with their platform consumers. One organization's even invited their developers to co create changes to the services provided. Empathy maps are a great way to visualize customer preferences, pain points, and demographics. Chevron's platform engineering team collaboratively detail the user's context as a way to keep the customer at the forefront of all platform decisions. It helps prevent team members with phrases and terms that the platform users will resonate with. Leaders who promote practices like this among teams signal deep values in customer centricity and commitment to outcomes. Understanding these needs are what teams can use to curate the internal developer portals. Internal developer portals, or IDPs, offer curated access to enabling self discovery, automation, reuse of components, tools, and knowledge assets. There are things like service and resource catalogs, quality and security scorecards, scaffolding templates, and integration plugins, all to enable self service discovery. We're seeing high productivity gains from organizations implementing IDPs as it requires monitoring and shared visibility from groups like security and operation as part of a wider governance initiative. IDPs are a long term investment, and there should be a platform owner who ensures it's delivering on its outcomes. Unless it's managed by a platform owner, developers will find a disconnect between their expectations and the portal's capabilities. Adidas platform owners marketed their platform services, and in this example of container orchestration, we can see that they showed promising benefits to developers like speed and efficiency. They offered consultancy services and trainings, built in security, as well as a point of contact for questions and support. So that we don't overinvest in the platform's creation and miss on our goals, the key to success is to prioritize the needs of its users. By keeping the needs of developers front and center, we can build platforms that not only meet their requirements, but drive greater adoption and satisfaction. In the coming days, schedule a meeting with a few key developers and map out the software development lifecycle so you can start to understand their pain points and build a direct line of communication. Then, over the next few months, build a small cross functional team aimed at discussing improvements for platform capabilities. Establish data to improve over time so that you can communicate this value to your organization, as well as regular feedback loops to measure the platform's success. If you're interested in learning more about how Gartner can support your platform engineering initiatives, you can use this QR code to schedule a conversation. Here's a list of recommended resources. Thank you for joining me.